Okay, so let's continue. The measures of dispersion. Today we're going to talk about something called measures of dispersion. And basically, we're going to start today and tomorrow, the next lesson, desperations. Dispersion. Sorry, we want to know how the data spread out. That's our next thing. So the first term is the range, and that's simply the maximum minus the minimum. Okay. Then the next thing we want to good. The next thing we want to look at something called quartiles. Quartiles are values that divide data into quarters. Okay, and the idea is we're going to use medians. We're going to use medians here to find the quartiles. So imagine a set of data. So imagine a set of data, and I'm going to call it A through K. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and K. And so the first thing you're going to do, let's assume that this is going in ascending order, and the first thing we're going to do is first find the median. First find the median. Sorry. And so I know, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, this is the median. Okay. This is known as, we're going to call this Q2. And the idea with the median is that 50% of the data is below and 50% of the data is above. So 50% is above and 50% of the data is below. Okay. Now what we've done is we've broken up into a lower range and an upper range. And so what we're next going to do is find the medians of the upper and the lower. So find the medians of the upper and the lower. So you have 5 sets of data, so you know this is known as the lower quartile. Okay, and we call this Q1. And the idea is that we're going to say it's the 25th. We're going to say 25% of the data is below, and 75% is above. And now we go to the upper quartile and we look for the median there. We can go, oh, it's through I. This is the upper quartile. We call this Q3. And once again, this is 70. So let's see, 75% of the data is below, and 25% of the data is above. That's the idea. Now, obviously, you don't have 11 pieces of data. You have like thousands or even millions. So the idea is the computer. So once again, for the computer, we know that this is n plus 1 over 4. So you take the total number. Remember in the last lesson, we were looking for the n. How many pieces of data did you collect? Take that, divide by 1, and add 1, and divide by 4. That place is the lower quartile. And then over here, 3 times that, n plus 1 divided by 4 times 3, that gets us to the 75th percentile, or this upper quartile. And that makes sense. Recall from the last lesson, it was n plus 1 over 2. Okay. So what do we have? What else do we have? So let's see. Let's just keep this up here. We now have something called the interquartile range. The interquartile range. And that's Q3 minus Q1. We're going to refer to this as the IQR. And this is the range. This is known as the range of the middle half. The range of the, what did I call it? The middle half. The range of the middle. That's the idea. We're going to see, yeah. So the idea here is, we're looking at all this data here. Something just to talk about. So what we're going to do is, okay, now let's do an example. Well, we don't need to do an example. So I'm going to take you to the calculator. One last thing, just talk about an outlier. So you studied in your science class this idea of an outlier. So sometimes what the idea is, you're going to organize the data and you're going to put it in this chart. So, and what's great about the median is that it only concerns itself with the middle. So you might have pieces of data way out here, and you might have a piece of data way out here. Now you know that these pieces of data might affect the mean, but they don't affect the median. So the question is, can I eliminate something? And so the idea is, a data point is an outlier. The mathematical if we take if x is less than the lower quartile minus 1.5 IQR, then that data point is an outlier. And if x is greater than the upper quartile plus 1.5 IQR, then, so this is an or, then x is an outlier. And so once again, this is just a mathematical explanation. You decide what you want to do with it. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go to the graphing calculator, and I'm going to show you how to get all this information. Okay, we'll go to the calculator in a second. I just want to show you how to do this by hand, old school. So let's assume that the data is 2, 3, 5. Let's 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 9, 9, 10, 11, 14, and 17. And so the idea is, so what are we looking for? So the first thing is we want to find the median. So let's see, first of all, is it in order? Yes, find the median. So the way I do it is, with my hands, well, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we know that n is equal to 11. That means that the median is 11 plus 1 divided by 2, or, the sixth place. Or you can go low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high. This is the median, or Q2. Then we look at the lower range. We look at the upper range. This is Q3. This is Q1. And so what we have here is we found the interquartiles. We found Q1, Q2, Q3. And then the idea is, this actually is the 5-number summary, which is, we now have the minimum, which is 2. We now have Q1, which is 5. We have Q2, or the median, which is 9. We have Q3, which is 11. And we have the max, which is 17. And in maybe previous classes, what you did was you created something, a box and whisker plot. And basically simply this, you put a number at the minimum, you put a point at the maximum, you create a box, including all the middle range, and then you just draw like whiskers. And this is the box and box and whisker plot. Now, and that's the idea. Once again, Q1, Q2, Q3, min, and max. And now let's do all of this, take all of this data, let's explore the graphing calculator. Okay, so we're gonna apply what we did in class to the calculator. So you're on the calculator, but instead, we're gonna create like a new document. So at the bottom here, we're gonna click on the calculator part. Now, or you can just, why don't you do one for new, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna add calculator, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna do Control Doc. And we're going to add list in spreadsheet. Now let's enter the data here like an Excel spreadsheet like we did in class. So the data points were, let's see, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 9, 9. We have 10, we have 11, we have 14, and we have 17. Okay. Now we're going to analyze this. So we're going to go to Menu, Statistics, Stat Calculations. Oh, excuse me. Oops, let's cancel. Sorry. Once again, Menu, for Statistics, Stat Calculations, one variable statistics. Let me move my face out of the way. Okay, there I am. Number of lists 1. Okay. The X list, hold on. So the 8. Let's cancel this for a second. I want to make a point. Cancel. At the top here, I'm going to label this. I'm going to call it Adler. That's my data set. Enter. Now let's analyze the Adler list. Let's see. Menu, Statistics, Stat Calculations, one variable statistics, number of lists 1. X list. Well, I'm not really sure if that's A. Click the arrow and, oh, look, Adler list. I want that. Hold off on frequency for a second. Go to the bottom. It says the results will show up in B list, B column. Okay. And we see here that this is our information. And so let's, at the top, let's see, title 1 variable statistics. We have the mean here. It gives us the mean. We'll get back to this stuff another time. And there's 11 pieces of data. And what we have here actually is our 5 number summary. Once again, you don't have to figure this out. The calculator does it for you, and IB's probably going to give it to you. Even if this is even on the HL. We have the minimum, the Q1, which is 5, the median, which was 9, and the Q3, which was 11, and the max was 17. Perfect. Now, so now the next thing we did is we turned it into a box and whisker plot, and we can do that here. So what we have to do is we have to open up a new window for the visual. So you're going to do Control, Menu. I'm sorry, Escape. I apologize. Control, Doc, and add data and statistics. This will give us our pictures. Okay. Now this looks weird. This is all Adler stuff. It's actually is. It's just plotting the points, just the points. So what we want to do is the bottom here, I want to put Adler, just click in the space at the bottom, Adler, and it organizes it. And you can kind of see, like, it's kind of like a histogram. Like there's a 2, a 3, a 5, 7. There were 3 9s here. There's a 10, an 11, a 14, and a 17. Now, let's see if we can make the box and whisker plot. It's kind of cool. Go to Menu, Plot Type. Number 2 is Box Plot, and it creates a box and whisker for us. We have the 5 number summary, the minimum, the lower quartile, the median, the upper quartile, and the maximum. It's kind of cool. Now I'm going to show you a couple of other cool things we can do with this. I'm going to totally X out of this. Do I want to save the document? No. Let's start over again. Well, I always want to put a calculator up. And then I'm going to put some more data. Let's go Control, Doc. Let's put some more lists and spreadsheets. But this time, I'm going to use another column. So once again, I'm going to call this Adler. Okay, so let's put some data. I don't know, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9. I don't know, 13. Well, I don't have seven. I don't have only 7 pieces of data. Each of these are repeated. So in the next column, we're going to create something called a frequency column. And this is going to allow us to have a lot of data within, whether it's an interval or a specific data point. So let's make this 3. How about 5, 7, 2, 1, 4, and let's make this back to 3. Okay. So now when we analyze the data, we're asking it not to analyze. We're saying, no, there aren't just 13, there's not just 7 pieces of data. Each of these has a multiple frequency. Well, let's go to the menu, statistics, stat calculations. Oh, I did it again. Cancel. Menu, statistics, stat calculations. Try this again. Menu, stats, 1, 1. We do okay. Now, I'm picking from Adler. That's where my data is, but my frequency list is under frequency. Now, I want the results to start at C. It's just a matter of space. That's all this means. You can put it at D, E, F, anywhere you want. Click OK. Now, the N is 25. So let's just go to the top. Once again, the title, it gives us the new mean of the how many pieces of data were there? Scroll down to N, 25 pieces of data. And the new, based on the frequency and the 25 pieces of data, we see that the minimum was 2, the first quartile was 3, the median is 5, the Q3 is 9, and the max is 13. Now, we can do a couple of things. Let's see if this works. Let's see. So now what I'm going to do, I want a visualization. So we're going to do Control Doc. I'm going to add data and statistics. Okay. Here I'm going to add, let's see if this works. So down here I'm going to add Adler. And over here I'm going to add frequency. Nice. Let's see if I can change that. So once again, we see it's, yeah, nice. Let's see, menu, plot type. Nice. So we have this is our histogram. Let me remove the Y. And then let's see, menu. We can make a histogram. And then if we change the frequency to actual frequency, I guess we're out of luck. Let's see if I can try this one more time. Menu. Let's see. Histogram. No. Okay. The last thing I want to show you is, so let's see, escape. So we kind of have our histogram. It's kind of our bar charts. What we want to do, though, is something a little more interesting. And now we're interested, if we're going to study something like an Ogive, and I'm asking you to look in the book, what we're going to do is we're going to start to accumulate the frequency. So we're going to go back to over here, and I'm going to create a new, so I'm going to click on, how do I get rid of this? Arrow all the way up to the top. Now the entire thing is highlighted. Let's do Control Menu, delete the column. Arrow up. The entire column is highlighted. Control Menu, delete the column. Nice. Now what I want, this is, watch. I'm going to call this cumulative. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to accumulate. So this is notice the bottom here, over here at the bottom, cumulative, SUM, open parentheses, frequency. And what it does is it adds up, so 3 plus 5 is 8, 8 plus 7 is 15, 15 plus 2 is 17, and so on. And so if we go back to the visual here, and we change this to cumulative, we can see that the data grows along. And what you're going to see from the Ogive is, this is known as an Ogive, and this is like the data points increasing. And so what this, you're going to read it. This is in the book. I'm going to leave this to you, but you can quickly find the Q1 by, that there's 25 pieces of data, which means you go to the 13th place, go over and down. So this is how the calculator will help you. Once again, IB is giving you all this information, and they're giving you the charts. So we're going to be using the calculator for other things, but not for this. Nice.